The day I realized talent doesn't matter. You know that kid, the one everyone whispers about on the sidelines, the one with natural skill, effortless dribbling, balance that looks like it was built in a lab. Coaches call him the future. Parents point and say, that's the next big thing. And you watch him glide across the pitch and think, how can I ever compete with that? I used to think talent was everything, that some players were simply chosen. And if you weren't blessed, you were doomed. Until one day, everything I believed about talent collapsed. And that day changed how I saw football forever. The story that changed everything. There was this boy on my team. Let's call him Leo. At 13, he was miles ahead of everyone else. He barely trained, but in matches, he'd dance past defenders like cones. The crowd loved him. Coaches gave him all the praise. Then there was another boy. Let's call him Sam. Nothing about Sam screamed future star. His touch was average, his passes sometimes clumsy, and he wasn't the fastest. Honestly, most people thought he'd never make it past Sunday League. But Sam had one thing Leo didn't: work. Every single day, after training ended, Sam stayed behind. He'd practice his weak foot for an extra 30 minutes. He'd set up cones and practice first touch until it was dark. He wasn't flashy. Nobody clapped. Most people didn't even notice him. Fast forward 3 years. Guess who was still improving? Guess who had passed everyone, including Leo? It wasn't talent. It was work. Why talent doesn't matter. Here's the ugly truth about talent. It gives you a head start, but that's it. Talent might make you the best at 12, but talent doesn't protect you when everyone else catches up physically. Talent doesn't stop your confidence from shattering after your first big failure. Talent doesn't drag you to training when you're tired. What matters is who you become after talent stops being enough. That's why so many wonder kids vanish by 18. They relied on talent, but football at the highest level is survival of the most consistent. And consistency doesn't come from talent. It comes from habits. Lesson 1. Hard work beats natural skill. Cristiano Ronaldo was talented, sure, but what set him apart wasn't talent. It was obsession. Stories from his teammates are legendary, staying after training for hours, sprinting alone in the dark, refusing dessert while everyone else indulged. Meanwhile, plenty of players with more talent than him faded away. Why? Because they relied on what came easy. Ronaldo built what was hard. Your first touch might be clumsy, your shot might be weak, but if you outwork everyone day after day, those weaknesses turn into weapons. Lesson 2. Consistency creates confidence. Here's another thing talent can't buy: confidence. True confidence doesn't come from being naturally good. It comes from knowing you've put in the work. When you step onto the pitch, knowing you've practiced that shot 500 times this week, your brain relaxes. You trust yourself. You stop fearing mistakes because you know the odds are in your favor. That's something the naturals often lack. They lean on talent until it fails them. Then they crumble. Lesson 3. Mindset outlasts everything. Talent is external. It's given. But mindset? That's built. Sam, the boy I told you about, didn't just practice skills. He trained his mind. He treated every mistake as feedback. He saw every training session as a chance to improve, not to impress. He wasn't trying to prove he was the best. He was trying to get better than he was yesterday. That mindset carried him further than Leo's raw ability ever could. My own realization. I'll never forget the exact moment it hit me. We were 16, playing in a local cup final. Game was tense, tied 1-1. Leo, the talented one, was marked out of the game. Every time he got the ball, defenders doubled up on him. He grew frustrated. His shoulders dropped. He stopped asking for the ball. Then Sam, the boy who was average, got the ball just outside the box. He didn't panic. He didn't freeze. He calmly controlled it on his weaker foot, shifted it to his stronger, and buried it into the bottom corner. That was the day I realized talent doesn't matter, because talent gave Leo a head start, but Sam's work, resilience, and mindset gave him the finish. What this means for you: if you've ever sat in your room thinking, "I'm just not talented enough," listen closely. You don't need to be the most talented. You just need to outlast the talented. Every extra touch you take after training, every rep you do when nobody's watching, every mistake you learn from instead of hiding from, that's how you pass the naturals. Because the truth is, most talented players stop pushing once it gets hard. If you keep going, you'll overtake them. How to apply this? Here's 3 things you can start doing today. Daily 30-minute extra session. Pick your weakest skill. Maybe weak foot, maybe heading, maybe first touch. Do 30 minutes a day, no excuses. That adds up to 3.5 hours a week, 182 hours a year. Imagine what that does in 3 years. Mistake journal. After every match, write down your 3 biggest mistakes. Then write the lesson. Mistakes aren't failures. They're feedback. Work when others rest. Most players stop at the whistle. You keep going. 10 minutes of sprints after training. 50 passes with your weak foot. These invisible sessions are where real growth happens. The final truth. One day, talent won't be enough. The boy who scored every goal at 12 will suddenly look average. The prodigy who everyone praised will fade when defenders catch up. And the ones left standing? They'll be the players who worked, who failed forward, who built resilience brick by brick. So if you're doubting yourself because you weren't born with natural talent, stop. Talent might open the first door, but discipline, resilience, and obsession kick down all the rest. Closing. So let me ask you, are you Leo, relying on talent, or are you Sam, building your future every single day? Comment below which one you're going to be, because the next time you step on the pitch, remember this: talent doesn't matter. What you do when nobody's watching, that's what decides everything. And in my next video, I'll show you the 3 habits every elite player secretly practices that nobody talks about. If you want to separate yourself from the crowd, you don't want to miss that one. Train hard, fail forward, and remember, talent is just the start.